All right. So welcome. Thank you for being on the show today. So we have about, I think, 9 minutes, 10 minutes or so before Matt, my producer, comes on. And actually, he'll probably come on a minute or so before then to do a sound check with you as well as with me to make sure that, our sound quality is good for the show. Before that, I want to go over just a couple other things. Matt's going to put a countdown in the chat, and he's going to say 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 30 seconds. Right around the 2-minute mark is when I want you to just kind of wrap things up, and we're going to transition to what I need to say to my, listeners. And then right about then is when we'll take our break. We'll be on break for about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, and then we'll come back. So I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to read your bio when we go on the air, and then we'll start asking some questions. And then
Can I send you my new bio, and it's shorter? It's updated. I've received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and stuff like that.
You can talk about that when I ask you about those things. So what we'll do is I'll read your bio, and then we'll start off with, tell me a little bit about who you are. Tell me a little bit about what inspires you to help others. We'll talk about who do you actually help. Let's talk specifically about the AIM agency, the Iconic Speakers Network, and the Go Global network. We'll talk about
Go Global is a class and a strategy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trying to, interrupt you. Just want to clear it up so it's not a separate company or anything.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect.
That's the strategy that we teach in Iconic Speakers Network.
Okay. So you can talk a little bit about that. What does PPP stand for?
Podcasting, presentations, and public relations.
Okay. So I'll probably ask you to define that when we start talking. We'll talk about how you produce mass brand awareness. And I'm on the radio. I need to be able to speak. Visibility and positioning results in as little as 90 days. I want you to talk a little bit about your business structure, who works with you, partnerships, and I'll ask you these questions as we go forward. The last question that I do usually ask is, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self? So I want you to think about that, let that kind of, settle with you. And at the end, we'll ask you that question. I'd like it to be a little bit concise because we may only have like 20 seconds to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also talk a little bit about your writings. You've written books?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is the name?
The most recent book that people know of is It Starts With I affirmations book. I toured for a couple years on the road with that, and the new one coming in that same series is It Starts With I Intentions. I have a book that is out now that we are pre-selling that I'm a part of, is the 50 Phenomenal Women.
Okay, so I'll ask you to talk about those a little bit and where people can get a copy of it. So that would be really great. We'll talk about that. The first half of the show, we'll talk about your build your business and everything we already talked about. The second half of the show, we'll talk about your writings and what inspired you to write those books. Who you worked for, who you've worked with to write those books, who's inspired you, things like that.
Okay.
Any questions about anything so far?
Mm-mm. Did the magazine come out today?
The 10th. Magazine always comes out on the 10th of the month.
Okay. So I missed it?
I don't know.
Because nobody sent me anything.
Well, did you subscribe to it?
Don't make me lie. I don't know if I did or didn't when we first connected. I can't remember at this point.
Yeah, if you want to get a copy, you have to subscribe to it because I don't have the time to send it out to individuals.
Okay.
So I usually tell people,
promoted it with like whatever your verbiage is that you share. I would have been promoting it. That's why I see 25th in my head, I had the 25th, but it was this. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking the magazine coming on the 25th.
No, the magazine goes out on the 10th. So you might want to go to the website and subscribe to it. And then
Okay.
I will send you a copy of it. If you want to still promote it, you're welcome to do that.
Definitely. And send me whatever verbiage you would want me to add my flavor to. You know what I mean? Like the must says in the caption.
Okay.
My apologies, because I know you probably thinking like, well, dang, she didn't say nothing. And then
No.
you didn't reach back for us to do a press release on the mag. Remember
I know. I've been
busy.
I literally work 16-hour days.
I get it.
At the end of my day, I probably see 5 to 6 clients, which ends up that's a full 8-hour day right there. And then from there I work on the magazine, and since the magazine is no longer quarterly, it's now monthly. That's a lot of work.
It is.
And then I've been promoting the magazine, trying to get new writers, trying to get more subscribers, trying to just kind of building that up. So it's just been really busy. And then I'm also transitioning my radio show. As of June, I won't be doing it live anymore. I will just transition to a podcast. So I'm trying to figure out, what platform I want to use for that, and just kind of decide if I want to start with a fresh new show or I want to carry the name and just transition it. So because the show belongs to me, not to Voice America, so I can take it with me, but we'll see how it goes. It's just been a lot. And then I'm also trying to change my business. Oops, I think, let me see. Oh no, that's not it. I'm trying to change my business format. So I'm splitting my business in two. So I will actually have a media company as well as the coaching.
Okay. That's smart. That's really smart, because now people that are potential partnerships or clients for you, you can reel them in through the media side, and that's like a nurture phase, and then they can come right on over to work with you or become a client if they needed to.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other partnerships that I'm working on. We have a scholarship program. I've been really promoting that, and so there's a lot, there's a lot going on. So
I already know
the press release was like on my list of things to do. I have most of it written actually, but it's just not. I probably need 5 more minutes on it. If that's the case, I just haven't done it.
Got it. I didn't want you to I didn't want to not do my part. That's all.
No,
I'm saying.
I'll still send it to you. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do it this month.
Okay. I mean,
right.
you would kind of have wanted it to come when this when this launched with it. You know what I mean? Like, because it's kind of like an announcement of this particular edition. So you can just maybe word it, instead of it being like an announcement of a launch, we might focus on something that's in it, and that would change the angle of the press release.
Well, let me get Matt on here, because we got to get ready for this. Hi, Matt.
Hi, good morning, Fozzie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well, thanks.
Matt, I'd like to meet Antoinette. And Antoinette, this is Matt, my producer.
Hi, Antoinette. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Yep, doing well. Doing well.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to do some quick mic level checks here and see how we're sounding. Fozzie, go ahead and count back from 5 for me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, sounded good. And Antoinette, go ahead and do the same. Count back from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, sounded good.
Antoinette, you're still a little bit loud. Could you turn it down just a tad more, please?
What about now?
That's better. Thank you.
I can go down even more. It's up to you.
No, actually, this is good. Yeah, This is good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, perfect. And I did send a hello on the chat. Did that come through?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Got it. All right, cool. All right, so we're good to go. We still have about 2 minutes. Still showtime.
All right, thanks. All right, so Antoinette, if you need to cough or sneeze or anything, if you could just hit the mute button so that we don't get that on live radio, that would be great. And then as soon as we get started, I'm going to, like I said before, I'm going to just introduce you. And, I really want you to just share your story. So feel free to talk and I'll probably interject every now and again and ask clarifying questions. And if there's something that comes up that you don't want to talk about, just say, hey, that's for another show. Just, that way you're not put in an uncomfortable position, and we'll move on to another topic. Okay.
Gotcha. Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't want you to feel uncomfortable in any way. So just say, hey, that's for another show.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So we should be good. Gotta love my allergies.
All right, 30 seconds and we'll get going.
Thank you.
All right, sending the feed your way. Have a great show.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome to Focus on Success with Fozzie Acosti. Our program is designed to help you with executive function challenges. Our guest experts offer perspective, experience, and ideas to improve different aspects of your life. Now, here is your host, Fozzie Acosti.
Hi, welcome. Today we are meeting with Antoinette Logan. She's based out of Atlanta. Antoinette is a multifaceted media professional, business consultant, life coach, and international author with 15 years experience working in media, sales, branding, and marketing. Antoinette has worked with clients of various industries, gaining hands-on experience from highly recognized and recommended organizations and companies, while also being mentored and led by the best in the business. Antoinette has used her experience with communications and relationships to build businesses organically and strategically worldwide, while providing practical solutions to their daily hiccups and next level goals. She is the CEO of the AIM Agency, a creative company focused on brand development and lead generation strategies. She has flourished in public relations, event and tour management, media production, and so much more. Welcome to the show, Antoinette.
Thank you for having me, Fozzie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you for asking. I'm really excited that you're going to be here because you have a very unique take on anything that has to do with promotion. So, but I want to start off with you. Let's talk about you. Tell us a little bit about who is Antoinette.
Antoinette is a busybody, free-spirited, super creative, do what she wants to do type of girl.
I love it.
I've tried a bunch of different things in every aspect. If I thought I could do it, I attempted, and most often than not, did pretty well at it, if I must say so myself. Truly grateful for the gift of obedience, and just knowing that when you get that push inside of you to say, hey, do this or try this, and listening to it, I happen to win and or be rewarded in a nice way for trying it. And
I love that. I love that approach of just having no fear and just willing to try things. That is truly, I think, part of the formula for being successful. You have to be willing to try new things, and it sounds like you really are.
yes, I think that there's maybe back in the day, it might not be this way now still, but back in the day, they used to say, you don't want to have a resume with a whole bunch of stuff on it and all these different things because it looks like you move around too much. But what's wrong with moving around? What's wrong with getting your feet wet and learning multiple things so that when you go to where you're finally going to really thrive at, you've gotten multiple levels of understanding and experience surrounding the whole thing, right? So growing up for me, I was a move around kid. I was from house to house. I wasn't with my parents. Even though I wasn't in the actual foster system, I was a foster child being raised by many different people. And I guess that kind of ran over into how I am as a person and as a career. I'm
Made
comfortable moving around. I
made
toured.
you more self-reliant.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Wow. Okay.
Embracing it.
Well, I definitely think a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. But I do think that all those experiences are cumulative and they really do pull together nicely when you get where you're supposed to be and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I do agree with you. I think all these experiences do scaffold nicely so that you can be who you're supposed to be and thrive.
Yes, yes.
So what inspires you to help other people? Because doing a business like yours, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of different people and you're helping them succeed in their businesses. What inspires you to do that?
Simplest put, I'm being the person that I once needed. Along the way, there were so many different things that I needed help and assistance with, and I could not find the person to really help me the way I needed help. I think there's a misconception when people think that, oh, I'm helping you by doing this, but if that's not the help that that person needs, are you really helping them? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, when I was in business, different things, I just didn't have those people that were doing those things. So I had to figure it out. There were many times that I spent days in the libraries, like that was my job, but I wasn't there working. I was there reading, taking notes, using the internet and putting it all together, learning and figuring this stuff out.
Well, it's interesting. You're not the first person who's told me this. And I think that's what makes an entrepreneur is that ability to really say, okay, I needed certain things when I was, new in this industry and they weren't there. So I see this opportunity to help people that maybe wasn't there before.
Yes.
And it sounds like you really found your niche. Tell me about who do you help? Who are the customers? Who are your customers? Who are your people that you help?
Well, I've helped a number of different types of customers, from small business owners, enterprises, corporations, coaches, therapists, rappers, singers, actors, consultants, adult entertainers, educators. When it comes to branding, marketing, and sales, um, I've worked in every aspect of it. I even worked in the collections field of things with all these different types of industries. So all that all that experience and information put together kind of helps you have a good view, like foresight and hindsight and the now sight, right, of what needs to be said now to get this thing to happen, and then what the solution would be on the other side if it doesn't go as smoothly as you plan.
So you have to have this ability to do some short-term and long-term planning at the same time,
Yes,
not just for you, but for your clients.
absolutely. And I'm actually much better at it for my clients than I am for myself, if we're being honest here. I
So
need me for me.
which is what you've created. You've created yourself, but you haven't used it for yourself. You haven't used those skill sets for yourself. Or maybe you have, I don't know.
So the thing is, it's not that I'm not using these skill sets for myself. It's that my eyes are trained in the way that I'm trained, right? I see things the way that I see them. But another professional or expert, when they put their eyes on it, can see differently from their perspective and their angle. And it's more than likely they're going to be able to see things that I can't see for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
kind of why my clients come to me, because I see things a certain way, and it's like they've been trying to figure it out on their own, or maybe with another company or another consultant or what have you, and it's like that just isn't it yet. We need a different look, a different eye, a different perspective to maybe change it around. I'm a chess player, so on top of that, I don't play chess the game much. I haven't played in a nice little minute, but I play it every day in my mind and with how I navigate through life and business. So I think that is why I feel that way, because I don't see my stuff the way that I know that another person would.
Understood. Tell us a little bit about your business. You have the AIM agency, you have the Iconic Speakers, and then you have Go Global. Tell me
So
what each one is and tell me how they fit together and how they help others.
okay. So the AIM agency is the branding company. We're a creative agency that focuses on brand development and lead generation strategies. We take our clients from idea to brand, brand to business, business to elevation and profit, pretty much meeting you where you are to help you achieve your next level business goal. With the Iconic Speakers Network is a all-in-one speaker success toolkit that helps you globally expand your brand in as little as 90 days using my PPP strategies without having to hire a publicist or leave your home if you don't want to.
So tell me what the PPP stands for.
PPP stands for podcasting, presentations, and/or public speaking and public relations. So all three of these things together are a way that you're going to be public speaking in some way, whether you're on a podcast using your voice with, video or audio, or sometimes both, or if you're presenting on a stage or presenting on your computer, right, to a class or a summit or conference or what have you. And then the public relations, you're using your voice and message, in writing, and how you reach out to the media and pitch to the media so that the media is wanting to connect and pay attention to you.
Can you give me an example of a client that you've had that you've done all three of these things successfully with?
I'm the perfect example.
All right. So walk us through that. How did it start?
Well, back in, we'll leave the dates where they are, because people will be like, "Ooh, I know who she's talking about." So long story short, I had a client, an anchored client who I worked with very hands-on every day. And this particular client had multiple companies, so I didn't have to market and look for new clients because this was a consistent situation. When your anchored client doesn't pay the bill, everything gets thrown off the track. And when you need money now to get things back on track, the only way that I knew to get in front of my audience quick, fast, and not have to go through well, let me see if I trust you first, or let me see if, you know what I mean? Because new people sometimes have to go through that. It was
Right.
the power of the media in all three of those things. So in less than 90 days, I had spoke on more than 300 platforms, one of all the three that we talk about. So podcasting allowed me to have a wider range audience to see, hear, connect with me. That's giving me more brand awareness, more brand visibility, right? Not only is it doing those two things, but it's also giving me credibility from the persons whose show that I'm on, because this person is trusting me enough to come and talk to their audience. Their audience already trusts them. Now they trust me. I'm going to get some form of conversion from that, whether it's going to be directly right now to book a call, or is it going to be adding to my social following? There's going to be some form of conversion, period. When you use the presentation side of things. Now, presenting on whatever your message is or your skill set, whatever you teach, that's automatically showing people, I know what I'm talking about, especially when you give them information that they can go and fact check. Fact checking makes them say, you know what, I went and checked everything that such and such said. It was right. I'm going back to get the meat of it all. Because if I know that you can teach me something that takes me away from having to spend the hours and days and weeks and months and years learning it, and you're going to fast track that, and I can now take that and implement it into my business right away, I'm coming back for that information. Simple as that. Whatever I have to do, right? And most people are going to move that way unless they actually want to take the time, the years to learn it. Because if they're going to build a business specifically around the thing that they need to learn, then that person probably will want to take the slow route because they need to know the ins and outs, When it comes to the press releases and public relations are one and the same, right? Because the press release is the actual documentation of the angle of which you want the media to pay attention to of the thing you're presenting, right? So you want to do that for everything you do. If you have a new show an interview with you, right? I should do a press release myself that
Mhm.
says that I'm going on your media platform, because I'm constantly creating that record of the things that I'm doing. And it's a paper trail that will follow forever. You know, it's not always about how many people pick it up, because that's another part of it, which I'm going to get to next. But it's about actually creating that paper trail of things that are newsworthy for yourself. Now, when you talk about the media actually picking up your press release, that's a whole nother level of why you need it, because now you're positioning your brand right next to people that are trusted in households everywhere. That's important. It's giving your brand a different type of authority and credibility.
So, walk me through a new client. You have a new client who's come in, and you said something about how some people need to take the long way and some people need to take the shorter way. A new client comes in. How do you decide which direction they need to go?
Are we specifically talking about with this PPP and the Go Global?
Yes.
Well, this isn't a done for you situation or a done with you. It's a
Okay.
DIY. So when you join the Iconic Speakers Network, I'm providing you with the step-by-step of every single thing you need to do, including all the resources, the buttons to click, what to say. All you need to do is fill in your name or your whatever the thing is. It's that type of thing. We're not even doing it for you. You're going to do it yourself. And if you're smart, you'll understand, hey, I can use this same thing over and over again for anything I ever create: business, product, service.
Oh, so so if somebody has a business where they're providing a service and somebody else has a product, they can use the same system to move their product or their service forward.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's good news. That
Thank
makes
you.
life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
How can you how do you produce mass brand awareness, visibility, and then position results in a way that people get results in 90 days? I mean, we talked a little bit about, the step by step, but you said you don't walk them through that. So when you tell them that they have this process they can go through on their own, what if they skip a step? Will they still get the same results?
Well,
Do you guarantee
so
that they'll do it in 90 days?
well, I don't want to put a guarantee, right, for legal matters. However, let's say you chose to only do podcasting and no conferences or summits, like you're not hitting any stages from that level. Could you still get the same results? Absolutely. To be honest with you, if you're looking to globally expand your brand, it only takes a few opportunities to do that. Because if you were in Dubai right now and we're on this call, this radio interview, or if we were doing a podcast interview, or even if I was speaking to your Facebook group or your private community of whatever is in your tribe, right? Am I not globally expanding my brand because you're in one country and I'm in another?
Right.
It's that simple. People are not understanding that the power of the internet can change the game for you, which is why you don't have to hire a publicist or leave your home if you don't want to. You've just got to master your messaging, master your branding, master everything that is you, and then just present it on all these platforms that is right here available to you. Simple as that.
So what social platforms do you recommend people use?
It depends on their business, product, or service.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that. What is Facebook best for?
Now, I guess I would say Facebook is best for like personal connections. Whether it's business or not, it's still a way to personally connect with the person.
Okay. What about Instagram, or what? Talk to me about the other ones. Tell me about those.
Um, I would, to be honest with you, I don't I almost said I don't give a, because I don't care about social media.
Okay, so
Social
what do you,
media, I care about podcasting, presentations, and public relations. And
okay,
my social media don't matter about that,
okay,
because me focusing on podcasting, I'm coming to your platforms, to your audiences. Me presenting and speaking and doing summits and conferences, I'm connecting with your audiences, right? So like I don't really, it doesn't, to me, it does, it's not my focus, but I'm not going to tell a new business owner to say F social media, because it's a thing that's never going to go away. So I think that, you should talk to the social media experts about which platform is best. And I do own a social media agency. If you're looking for that, socialgodigi.com, they can help you.
so how does somebody get onto a podcast, or how do you find webinars to join? If the average person is just, the average entrepreneur is just building up their business and they're saying, okay, I want to get onto podcasts. How do I do that?
Join the Iconic Speakers Network, the iconicspeakersnetwork.com. Get on the wait list, because that's exactly what the program gives you, all of that. So you don't have to look, you don't have to search. We have the Iconic Connections section inside of there, where it's a list of the places you need to go and book an interview. There is no meet and greet for them to say, let me see if I even want you on my show. There is no red tape. You're going to click a button and automatically book yourself on that interview. Just that simple.
Okay. What about presentations and webinars and, summits and things like that? How do you go out and find all these and then bring them to
Put
your
them in.
clients?
Yep, absolutely. Either we're looking for them, or people, because now this is brand new now. Iconic has only been iconic since July, and it wasn't iconic in July. I didn't have a name for it at that point. I had just
Okay.
started it. But we're now getting where people are bringing their events to us. But yes, we do. We search for the right type of events, whether it's a summit, a webinar, a conference, virtual or live. And on top of that, because I myself have built the reputation up of focusing on speaking engagements, event organizers are speaking directly to me anyway, which is why I'm constantly booked. So as they're booking me, I'm also saying, how many more do you need every time, to make sure that we're able to give them opportunities. And then on top of that, in Iconic, we'll be having Iconic events as well that are simultaneously running for you to be able to speak on multiple different types of platforms.
So talk to me about those presentations, or those, you said you have your own. So what do those look like, and how does somebody participate in that?
They will look like, there will be some that are interview style, like how you and I are talking now. There are some that are actually presentation style, where you will have the floor and you're teaching, whether you're showing the presentation only or you're physically showing yourself while presenting. There also will be like expert stages and those are coming in the later phases of Iconic, because again, we haven't actually launched the private network yet. It's coming on in February. But at that time, when we do launch, you'll have expert stages similar to how a TEDx is an expert and specific conversation with an intimate group of people. It'll be things like that. And basically, just being in the network, you have all access to it. Some of these events, though, that are available to the public, we'll share. We have a business model that we chose to go with that basically gives the Iconic Speakers Network members not having to pay certain fees to participate. Whereas if you are not a member, you just pay a fee and you too can participate. And then in our Facebook group that we have, that we do share events in that group consistently as well. And you just pay the fee that it is to participate. And sometimes it's not a fee. We just say, hey, invite 10 people to the group. You get booked to speak at this event.
Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like you've got a lot going on. Is there anything that I have not asked you about that you feel that our audience would like to know about? When we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit about all your books and your writings, but I want to talk a little bit, we have a few more minutes. Is there anything that we have not talked about yet that you would like to bring up?
Sure. Inside of the Iconic Speakers Network, we have the Ivy Lead Power Program. And what that is basically where you enroll to be of service to the community, volunteer work, give your expertise on stages for volunteering reasons. And when you're done with the entire Iconic Speakers Network program in 6 months, you will have earned your Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from the current President and Vice President of the United States. And we are a certified organization to offer that to the deserving and leaders and change makers and activists in our communities.
Interesting. So that's a very interesting product you've got going. That's fascinating. Okay.
Thank you.
And before we started the recording, you had said something about you had recently received some awards. What are those awards that you've received?
I actually just received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award myself, which is how I even found out about even being able to have my company be able to recognize other leaders.
Okay.
Such an honor to even be recognized. It was great, to be nominated. Right after I got that nomination and I shared that on social media, I instantly was receiving invites to speak about different things, even though I'm not coming there to speak about the award, but people are recognizing me in a different way. And I said, wow, I love this feeling. It feels great. I love that my brand is able to expand. How can I give this same thing to other people? How can I get other people the opportunity to be recognized for the work that they're doing, the impact that they're having, And that's what I'm doing, period. Being who I needed and offering whatever is offered to me.
Okay. So in order to get that recognition, tell me again what our listeners would have to do.
Join the Iconic Speakers Network.
Okay. And then they would have to be part of the program that is volunteering, correct?
Yes. So when you
And it's
join
for 6 months?
When you join the Iconic Speakers Network, the reason why we say in as little as 90 days, because if you are a person who's already speaking and doing things, then you may not want to take the actual course part of things where you're learning about speaking. And that's the Iconic Speakers Elevation Program. So if you're already seasoned or you've already been doing it, you'll just go straight to the resources and start using the strategies and other stuff, right? Well, before you get to that, right in the community, the very first thing is the Ivy League Power Program. It's telling you what that is, because if you enroll immediately, every single thing you do that is service worthy, volunteer worthy within our program, we're now tracking it for you, because you have to, right. So you have to have proof of, what you're doing, because this award isn't something you can just say, hey, I want it, let me have it. No, you've got to actually do the work. So we now are tracking what you do inside of Iconic, but also what you do outside of Iconic. So if you did an event with us, we're tracking it. If you did an event with someone else, all you have to do is give us certain information about it, and then we put it in there and we're tracking it too.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot more sense to me. All right. So how can somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to work with you?
Linktree.com/Ask Ms Logan. That's AskMsLogan. I am Ask Ms Logan on all platforms.
Okay. And I really want to thank you for being on the show today. When we come back from our break, I want to talk a little bit about your different books, and you've written quite a few, and you've got a lot of things going on, I have to say. So we'll talk about your writings. So there you go. That's Antoinette Logan. And if you're looking to get in touch with me, you can go to my website, executivefunctioncoachaz.com. Don't forget to subscribe for our magazine, Executive Function Magazine. If you go to the website, you can subscribe. It is now a monthly publication. So it comes out on the 10th of every month. So make sure that you subscribe so that you can get a copy. And if you're interested in being a guest on our show, or if you'd like to write an article for the magazine, you can go to the to the contact page on our website, and you can send me an email there directly. The emails do come to me directly, and I'd be happy to chat with you about that. We have one product outside of our coaching, and that is our mind print assessment. That mind print assessment also offers you ACT and SAT predictions. So it is a wonderful product. If you're interested, we have our special still going for $350. You get the mind print assessment. You get a 45-minute consultation with me via Zoom, as well as the ACT and SAT predictions. We'll be back after these messages, and we're talking with Antoinette Logan. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome job. All clear. Back in about 2.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Mhm.
All right, Antoinette, I'm going to need your help a little bit. So when we come back, I'm going to reintroduce you, and then we're going to talk about your books. I'm going to ask you a little bit about, what books you've written, what's inspired you, but we do need to fill the entire time. Can I ask you about maybe some stories that you could tell?
Yeah, like what?
About your books, like what led up to that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you think I can ask you?
I used to be a rapper and a singer, and I have a motivational song in my link tree now. It's definitely different from who I used to be as an artist, but it represents who I am today, like at my core. Okay.
So we've got you're an author, rapper, singer. Let's do this. What is it that you cannot do? Just tell me that list.
Well, I don't know that there's anything I can't do. I might not have tried it or attempted to do it. And so I don't say that I can't do it. I just haven't attempted.
I like that. No, I like your attitude. That's great. All right. So we're going to talk about your books, what inspired you to write your books. We're going to talk about your singing. And then just maybe some stories, if you could think of some stories you can share.
Okay. I got plenty.
All right. Well, let's bring them out and let's chat about those. And the very last question I'll ask you is what advice you'll give your 20-year-old self. And I think that'll bring us to the end of the show. Okay. All right. How do you feel so far? Has it been good?
Yes, it's been great. I love it. My
Okay.
back was hurting a little bit, but I got a pillow back there now, so I'm okay.
Life is good again.
Mm-hmm.
I love your attitude. Nothing holds you back.
Absolutely not. No matter what happens, we got to pick up and keep going.
That is true.
If I learned that early on, and I'll say though that there's healthy techniques that people should learn when having to be that way though, because I didn't learn the healthy parts of it till later.
Well, maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Okay, that's cool. It'll come out in the It Starts With I conversation probably.
All right, coming back here in about 10 seconds.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Mhm.
You are listening to Focus on Success. To reach Fozzie Acosti or her guest on the live show, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Fozia at executivefunctioncoachaz.com. Now, back to Focus on Success.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Fozzie Acosti, and today we're talking with Antoinette Logan. She's the CEO of the AIM agency, and that's AIM. Welcome back, Antoinette.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm having a great time with you.
You know what? I'm really enjoying interviewing you. This is a lot of fun. It's really fun to meet somebody who just has this can-do attitude. During break, Antoinette and I were talking, and I asked her to give me the list of things she can't do because it seems to be shorter than the list of things she can do. So, one of the things that we haven't talked about yet is that Antoinette is an author, a rapper, a singer, um, which is why I asked her the question, what don't you do? Because she seems to be able to do anything. So I love that can-do attitude. But what I want to talk about next is your books. You've written several. So
Yes.
tell me the list of books you've written.
Well, there's a lot of books that I've written that I don't promote in a public type of way because, like, say for instance, if you were coming in as a consultant client, right, and you need a website or you need a pricing strategy for your company, and the pricing strategy session is $1,000. And you say, you know what, I don't really have that. I'll say, you know what, I've got a book that I wrote. It's called The Right Price, and it's $100. Let me give you that. It gives you the strategy, how to do it, blah, 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 blah. And that'll get you what you need. So I have a lot of those books, but I don't promote them in a way like I'm not trying to sell them to the world or promote them all day, every day. I promote them to the client that needs them, you know. I am looking to eventually open up like a digital bookstore where I will load up all those things because slowly but surely I kind of will get away from that whole side of business eventually, period. So when I'm no longer doing that type of business, I'm only doing speaking engagements and that's it, then I'll offer those books to the world and they can just buy them as they need them. It starts with well, no, let me back up. Cutting the Cost in Business was the first book that I really was pushing as like the book I wrote and want to share with the world, right? And I had gotten booked for a conference, and this particular conference had a list of topics that they know they wanted to hit, right? So as the speakers came in, you had to choose which one you were going to talk about, and it already had a title and everything. So Cutting the Cost in Business was the name of the title, and they weren't paying me to speak. So I'm like, am I going to say no because they're not paying me? Absolutely not. I said, I'm taking this gig. I'm going to write a book with the same title as this topic. I'm going to speak. I'm going to give bullet points on it and leave the meat of it all in the book. So now when I get off that stage, they go and buy the book. Gives them all the meat of everything they learned and wanted to know. I got paid for my speaking engagement, actually probably more. So yeah,
That's a very good idea. What is another book that you've written?
It Starts with I. Oh my goodness. It Starts with I as a whole conversation. You got time?
I do. I have some time. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I have a friend, right? So I'm in Chicago at home, and you know how you have girlfriends that are in other states and stuff, and you know everybody has a family and doing their thing, and we hadn't talked in a while. So she calls me. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and we're on the phone. I said, "Girl, let me go to the car so that we can talk it all out, and ain't nobody around and hear what I'm saying. They can't hear what you're saying. I like to talk on speakerphone. I don't like holding things to my ears or." That's me. So she said, okay. And so I go to the car and I'm out there and we talking and we jamming and finding out all the scoop on whatever, you know, spilling the tea, as they say. And time had moved on and I hadn't had breakfast. I hadn't eaten or anything. I'm like, it's 4:30 and I'm hungry. So side conversation, right? Away from that, I've been in major car accidents. I've had many concussions and just different situations that happen due to car accidents. And when it comes to driving, I don't really play no games. I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to be fumbling with the radio. I like to pay attention. So back to
As
being on the
everyone
phone.
should. Yes.
Yeah, right. So now being back to being in the car and it's now 4:30 and I haven't eaten, but I wasn't ready to hang up yet because this is my sister. I love talking to her. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just drive to the restaurant down the street and stay on the phone. Well, I'm talking to her in conversation. I done missed my turn. So I'm not gonna do a U-turn or nothing crazy because again, I'm driving, right? So I waited till I got to the next street that I could make a legal turn on. I turned. As soon as I get to that street, because now I'm in the residential area anyway, but not on the main street. So now I get to that street. I make that left turn. I come to a stop sign. When I looked up, what you think I saw? I was shocked.
A police officer?
Nope. Try one more time.
Oh, I don't know. I can't even.
Girl, I saw my significant other with another woman.
I would have never guessed that in a million years.
It was the craziest thing. And I'm like, girl, you would not believe this here. And she was like, what? So I was upset instantly, right? I done turned down the turn because I could have kept straight, but I actually turned on the actual side street so that I could be on the actual street that they were on. Had words, conversation, blah, 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 blah. Went through that whole thing. And I followed him home. So I went home. The night goes on. It, like I told you, I don't even think I went and got no food. I can't remember now. Like, that's crazy that the important part of the story about the food, I don't remember that part. But long story short, the night went on and the next day is Friday. That was a Thursday. It was Friday. And normally I have my consultation starting at 8 a.m. to noon. I would give away free consultations, and I only do them during those times. They're blind consultations. I don't research the company. I don't research you. I don't look up your web. I don't do anything except answer my phone, right? And give you the information blindly, because that's like, those consultations really moved my business along. They helped me a lot. I encourage people, give away some consultations. It will move you faster than anything, because I wasn't even paying for marketing at that time. But anyway, back to this. I got up that day and I could not focus, couldn't work. So I'm like,
well, I think that's understandable.
Yeah, but I was like, girl, I need to do something different. Saying my affirmations was a thing that I already did. So saying them was not going to work if that's what I do normally. And this is an abnormal situation, right? So I grabbed my notepad and a pen and I started writing them down. When I got to the 11th affirmation, I heard a voice clear, loud say, "This is a book." And I was like, okay. So I got up, went to my table. I almost said my desk, because it was like a desk, but it wasn't a desk. It was a table that became my desk. And I pulled out the computer, and instead of organizing my book on paper, I went ahead and did the layout, did the organization actually in the computer. And I filled the pages up on the computer, not in writing anymore. And 3 days later, we had a book. It was ready. It was for sale and published. A week after that, maybe 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, I was on an airplane to the other end of the country to start my book tour that I stayed on the road for over 2 years with that one book. And it changed my entire life.
So what's the book about?
It starts with I. It's about I. It's affirmations. It's about the person reading it, right? Because my thing was this. It's like, girl, what is wrong with you that you all been out of shape about him being with this other woman? Literally, I was at a stop sign. So we're outside. We're in public. It's not like they're having, relations or whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I had a feeling of something, it still wasn't enough for me to still wasn't enough for me to be all bent out of shape about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was just a direct reflection to me that I needed to do some more work on me. So it was all about getting me together. And it starts with I is about self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth. Those are all the areas that I knew. I said, these are the areas I focus on, and these are the areas I need to focus more on, not this relationship thing right here, because that ain't got nothing to do with me. Him seeing somebody else for whatever reason he's seeing them, whatever he doing with them, ain't got nothing to do with me. I need to focus on me and worry about me. And that's what it was about.
Interesting, because most people would have gone the other direction and, taken it all out on their significant other. Are you still with that individual?
Actually, he just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. July 31st, he passed away.
Wow. That's quite an interesting story. So,
Yeah.
um, so that was an interesting story because it was inspired by your significant other, but not necessarily in the most positive way.
Well, what I do want to say, because the crazy thing, right? I used to be a rapper and a singer and all that. And in the entertainment industry, you kind of have to look a certain way all the time. Makeup, hair, all that. So I used to wear weave, wigs, the fake eyelashes, all the stuff, right? And when we were together, like in the beginning of our relationship, he was like, I don't like girls that wear all that weave and all that fake stuff. And I don't like all that makeup. And I don't like so everything that Antoinette was doing to make Antoinette feel good, or, that wasn't coming from my naturalness, from my core, he would make me think he didn't like it. And because he knew the type of woman that I am, that I want to please my partner, I want you to be happy and I want you to, you know what I'm saying? I embraced it. It worked. He mind tricked me, and it worked to make me really love and focus on who I am and what's inside of me naturally without all the things. So this book even is a reflection of that too, because it's like he was constantly putting me in positions to make me focus on myself and being the best me that I could be. Even before he passed away, we had every conversation we had, it was all gearing towards the same thing. He says, everything that I ever try to show you or teach you is always all for you. And I agree. Even when I look back on conversations and things like today, it literally definitely was being just a great friend to make me see me in the way that he saw me, and that probably a lot of other people see me too. Because sometimes when you have different difficult situations growing up, you don't always see yourself that way.
True. Let's talk a little bit about your past life as a rapper and a singer. I'm I'm not even sure it's a past life. Maybe you still do it, but that's an interesting start to your career. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ready Red. That
That's
was my brand name, because honey, she was ready for anything, always been ready, born ready, stay ready, ain't gonna have to get ready. Okay. Um, it was very interesting because I always had the singer in me lived all the time, from even when I was a young child. But when I really got into the entertainment industry and really was doing music like for real, that wasn't the side that shined bright. It was the rapper side, because I actually was with a label that was full of rappers. So to fit in and like be like on the records and stuff like that, it was just easier for me to rap, because the music that I was creating as a singer, that label didn't know what to do with me at that time. I was doing all type of pop music. I hit every genre actually except opera. That's the only genre of music I didn't really try to tap into yet, I should say. But it was just different. And I was ahead of my time, and they didn't really know how to market that. So it was easier to be like Cardi B / Megan Thee Stallion before there was such, in that kind of way, because it fit in with the style that they were doing. We traveled, we toured. It was an amazing journey. Music definitely paved the way for me to do a lot of different things. I remember the first time I wrote a rap, my god brothers, they were rappers. They're part of the reason why I even started doing any of this with music or media. They were doing their thing, and I would go and take pictures and post them up on Facebook, but people wouldn't know what they were looking at. So then I was like, okay, I need to write a paragraph. And that turned into starting a blog, which is like starting all this stuff. But we were one time at their house and they were all doing music. And I was like, I could do this. They was like, okay, do it. I was like, all right, give me a minute. I'll be right back. So I went in the room and sat down and came up with something, and came back out a little bit later, and they gave me the floor and I did my rap, and they was like, it's actually really good for that to be like your first rap. like, you need to keep doing this. And I did. And boom, I was doing it.
Wow. So I'm fascinated, is that where you learned how to do all this marketing and global branding, because you were experiencing that with your music business?
That is where I think that I got it from, the angle of me choosing it. Because when I was a much younger child, my mother, her job was in sales and marketing, but back then they wasn't using the term branding. You were called sales reps, not brand ambassadors, right? And when we were young, she would make us do like the front facing of the perm boxes, or the whatever product it was. And if it's like the festivals or trade shows or radio in stores or whatever, we would be the ones setting up the table and making everything look right. And that taught me that it's important how the brand is positioned and looks, even when it's sitting still, when people encounter it. So I learned that then. And I guess as growing up with that always around, it kind of stuck. And when I got into music, that definitely was the pathway of doing it on a level where I'm choosing to do it. And I'm like, I actually like this.
Wow. So you've done a lot of things. You've got this branding business, you've got this book, you've got a few books, you've got your business as a rapper, a singer, an author. You've done so many things. What do you think is your biggest accomplishment? What makes you the happiest?
The results that people get from my help and efforts to help them achieve their goals.
So
I
your
like
current,
that.
yeah.
I like that I'm able to help people get to their next, whatever that looks like. I like to help people. So
Very good. So what do you see your future like? How do you envision your future? You've done a lot in the past already. What's coming for you? What does Antoinette's life look like in a year or 2 or 5 or 10?
well, I'm definitely going to be speaking and having more books. I'm also going to be running businesses, even though I won't be working in the businesses and doing the services that those businesses offer. I definitely will be running businesses. And I'm actually planning, and fingers crossed that this new product line that I'm going to have will be coming soon, because that's something that I didn't really focus on a lot, was actually having full product lines. I did a lot of service companies and online things. I want to move into tangible products, and actually be in stores and things like that. And I'm not just talking about my books.
Yeah, what products are we talking about?
Just follow me and we'll talk about it on another interview.
All right. So that's something you don't want to talk about today. Got it. All
Yeah,
right. So
because I don't want to give my secret away. You know how
okay,
they say some stuff you need to
we
keep
know
it to
that,
yourself.
yeah, so we know that products are coming.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I like that there's something to look forward to in the future. So let's talk a little bit about how somebody can get in touch with you if they wanted to, um, follow, like, where can they find you?
Linktree.com/Ask Ms Logan. I'm Ask Ms Logan on all platforms, askmslogan.com. Actually, any brand that I have, our brand is exactly that on every platform, but easy to connect with me. askmslogan.com, linktree.com/Ask Ms Logan. Just ask Ms Logan.
All right. No, I love it. I love it. So I have a last question for you. You've done so many different things. You have no fear of trying new things. You seem to love to kind of expand your experiences and try new things. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self? You've done so much already. What advice, if you were to go back and look at your life, what would be the best advice you could give yourself?
To focus on you, girl. You are an amazing person. You are good at so many things, and you love so hard and so many people that you always forget about you. Like, yeah, it's okay to love those people, but you need to love you triple times as much as you love the world and the things that you offer to the world. Give what you give to others to you. Put you first.
That's good advice. I like it. What advice would you give our listeners?
The same. It literally starts with I. Whatever it is that you want to do, it starts with you just choosing to do it. Everything that you need to accomplish any said goal is already within you. You don't actually have to have the degree that they said you needed to do da 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 da. You don't have to need somebody to hold your hand and show you how to do it. If you really want to do it, the answers are within. It's already there. Now you may take time to go and grab some other tools to help you along the way to research or what have you, but the answers are actually there and within. You got it. If I can, you can. Anybody can.
I love it. I love it. You're such an inspiration. I really appreciate you being here today. So if you're interested in getting in touch with Antoinette Logan, you have her information. Feel free to reach out. She's pretty awesome and probably can help you and inspire you if that's something you choose to do. If you're looking to get in touch with me, you can go to my website, executivefunctioncoachaz.com. You can also call me at 480-648-1122. We are launching our magazine. As of January, our magazine has become a monthly publication. If you'd like to get a copy, you can go to our website and subscribe. Make sure you click. You're going to get another email once you subscribe. So make sure you click on that email because that's the only way you're going to get a copy of the magazine. If you'd like to be a guest on our show or a writer on our magazine, you can go to our contact page and send me an email. That email comes directly to me. So I'd be happy to chat with you about any opportunities you're interested in. And we are offering free consultations as well as the mind print assessment. Right now we are offering a ACT and SAT prediction with that mind print assessment. So if you're interested, please go to our website once again, executivefunctioncoachaz.com, and we'd be happy to help you out. For those of you who are here listening today, I want to say thank you. Without you, this would not be possible. So for all of those in China, in Russia, in Europe, Asia, New Zealand, Australia, we really appreciate you. So have a wonderful day and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Terrific job today. Good show. We're all clear.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
All right, let me stop.